This is my presentation on my United Airlines Holdings India market analysis. United Airlines has provided services in the air since 1926. The company has since grown to service over 48 countries and their 357 destinations with over 4,600 daily departures across the globe. United Airlines has curated a wide range of services designed to enhance and streamline the customer experience. These services include business-specific solutions, credit solutions, reward programs, and it can extend to a gift registration program, curating both the business and non-business customer needs. United Airlines is a part of the airline industry. The industry is defined as a transportation being performed by a mechanical unit. They predominantly operate within the aviation industry, which is aided in providing, connections across the globe. The aviation industry in itself is defined as an aircraft-based transportation service designed to meet customers and business partners' needs. United Airlines holds a global market share of 4.28% with a domestic market share of 12.4% here in America. They are within the top 5 of US domestic market share holders, with Delta Airlines exceeding them, Southwest Airlines and American Airlines. Due to the COVID-19 global pandemic, United Airlines did see a revenue shift in 2020 when global traveling restrictions were put in place and they were not able to operate as freely as they were in 2008 to 2009. This did lead them to a segment of review where they looked to find every cost savings avenue that they could reasonably implement. And it led to an overhaul in the way that they manage their cost savings and various revenue streams within their operations. India has faced an additional set of regulations and restrictions behind them due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But with that, though, forecasts have shown that, as the virus gets more under control and we move forward with vaccinations and stuff of the like, that as we move back into normal, India is shown to spike up in almost an exact trend as international tourism is. They may not have exactly the same trend line, but the trend line does very much have a similar space or similar shape rather within its definition. I do believe that although, maybe not as crazy, it does look like India is bound to jump back up to where it was at 2009 level with a little bit of increase. And then this also follows in with travel from North America, jumping at the same overall travel rate in which India is looking at. My proposals for where we could potentially shift and or pull in revenue would be to essentially hit those 3 areas of customer interaction. So whether they're coming from India to the United States, from India to another country, or from the United States into India, how might we best serve those customers' needs? In the United States, we have a much bigger network, which allows us to provide more direct and non-direct flights that then get supported by United Airlines, supported airlines and or airports to where we can direct service them. and followed up with potential partner solutions with hotels and other accommodations for our customers. Followed in with an international travel segment, very similar to the American model, except for in some countries, we're not going to have the domestic option like we do in America because United hasn't expanded to that extent yet. So unfortunately, they'd have to fall into the partner airline zone, just as kind of is represented in the India model. And then lastly, we get into the India model where they don't quite have the representation as they do within the other two models. So in that case, they have to navigate the direct and non-direct routes into the international airports of India. And at that point, hopefully we could work with and develop partnerships with local airlines and local hotels / other accommodation entities. And in that case, we could work with local providers to extend our serviceability to our customers. Arrivals by region. When you analyze and you look, all the regions seem to be taking a similar approach with the virus and pandemic situation. But as we approach a time in which where these things are a little more manageable and or maybe vaccination rates are at a rate that people are comfortable with traveling again, that kinds of situations, it does appear that almost every region is going to hit a peak and then we're going to fall almost as if to just shift back to where we should have been without the scenario of COVID-19, and then following suit into what would be a more appropriate year-to-year growth rate until we hit a plateau or hopefully an additional shifting, in which that it bumps again. When you look at India's population numbers, maybe at which point the network is no longer focused on driving people in, but rather driving people out and curating to the India tourism outbound network. Followed in with kind of falls back to the prior point with the India situation and the India network. It's not as substantial as maybe United would like to hit a market as large as India is. Unfortunately, United doesn't appear to be even one of the main players within the India airline industry market share, landing within that other space, unfortunately, predominantly because they, but primarily focus on the international flights. While as there are over, I believe, 138 airports within India with 4,000 cities and over 1.38 billion people, I'm sure there are an enormous amount of flights that are happening within the country's perimeters and everything. So it's not surprising to not see, the main market share from America show up here in India, as they're an entirely new market with, 3 times the almost 4 times the population as America. It makes sense that they would have their own space within this market. Followed up with working and driving revenue and potentially working with housing and hotels or other accommodations for our guests. Looking at India's hotel utilization analysis, it looks like, as we transition outside of the COVID-19 situations, we're only going to see, spikes and bumps curating to tourism and occupancy rates being shifted back up to a normal rate. This could again potentially be a great opportunity to partner with local solutions that we would not be able to vertically integrate easily, and push revenue forward in that regard. And finally, with the services predominantly being focused on hitting India in regards to pushing, I guess, tourism in and out, it would make sense to predominantly focus on the international airports, which this visualization is trying to highlight the major international airports within India, and then the communities around them, paired with the airlines that work within these airports, so that we could potentially partner with them to extend our network, so that I don't maybe you purchase a flight in or a flight, excuse me, into let's see here, Indore, and you fly into New Delhi via United, and then you take a partner um the final leg in. That there's opportunities for us to potentially um maybe sell a lead off to another airline that we can't potentially be able to meet the need of the customer, but we still want to be a part of that transaction and that journey with that customer. That is my presentation. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.